This is what I'm talking about. I am thrilled to be here. Now, the first thing that I need to clear up, I am not Neil Boyce. I am Herman Cain. And people all across this country are sending a message to the political elites in Washington, D.C. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being ignored. That's what your presence here means today. You know, one of my heroes was a man by the name of Dr. Benjamin E. Mays. He used to be president of Morehouse College when I was a student there. And he used to remind us as young men of Morehouse, let it be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goals. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach for. It's not a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity to have no dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, the American dream is under attack, and we are going to take it back starting on Tuesday, November the 2nd. Because just like your parents, my folks wanted to give my brother and I a little bit better start in life. And we want to give our children and grandchildren that same or better opportunity, but we can't do it when we've got too much spending, too much regulation, too much legislation, and too much taxation, which is running this country. And that's why you're here. That's why you're showing up. And the first thing that we're going to do on Tuesday is we are going to alter control of the United States Congress, starting with the United States House of Representatives. That's what this is about. And then, after we make that change, then we're going to start working on 2012 so we can alter the occupant of the White House. That's our next target. Because it is our right and our responsibility. It is our right and our responsibility. But I get called a whole lot of different names. I've been called so many names because I happen to be an American black conservative. Here's one of the latest ones. So this guy calls up and he says, Mr. Cain. I said, yes. You are shameless. I said, shameless? Yes. This was the way he sounded, folks. I'm not making this up. You are shameless. I said, well, sir, why do you think I'm shameless? It is shameless for you as a black man to disagree with our black president. I said, sir, this may be difficult for you to comprehend, but I'm going to try. There are 2 points that I hope to enlighten you with. Number one, there are actually some people and some black people who can think for themselves. Thank you very much. See, this is what's wrong with the political elites. They want to think for all of us, and they don't want us to think for ourselves. And unfortunately, some people think that just because I happen to be black and he happens to be, but it ain't about color. It's about content and character. That's what it's about. And then the second point I wanted to get across to this gentleman, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I said, sir, and here's the other point. Whenever we reach the point in this country where we cannot criticize our elected leaders, we are no longer a democratic republic. We have become a nation ruled by tyranny, and some of us are not going to let that happen. But you see, the liberals have gotten so desperate that all they have left is name calling. You remember the actress Janine Garofalo? Y'all heard what she said? She said that we were nothing but a bunch of redneck, teabagging racists who didn't like a black man in the White House. That's what she said. And then some of the other Democrats even said we were just crazy. Yeah, that we were just a bunch of crazy people. So you know what I did that night on my radio show? I said, folks, you know what? Yes, we are crazy. We are crazy. We are crazy about the Declaration of Independence. We're crazy about the Constitution of the United States. And we are crazy about the United States of America. If they want to call you crazy, just say, okay, you're right. Oh, yeah, I'm one of those crazies. Because this is our country. Now, here's what we got to do, folks. It won't be over on Tuesday. Because starting on Wednesday, we got to hold them accountable. Here are the 3 things that we must do all the way through to Tuesday. We got to do these things continuous all the way to 2012 ad infinitum. That's right. Number 1, stay united. Yeah. We got to stick together. Yeah. We got to stick together. Because they are trying to divide us. They're trying to divide us on race. They're trying to divide us on income. They're trying to use class warfare. They're trying to use any and everything that they can to divide us, such that we won't be a united voice and a united front. Secondly, stay informed. Last night in Duluth, Georgia, I did a live radio show of my show. And at the end of the show, people came up, they wanted to shake hands, they wanted to get some autographs and this sort of thing, and I obliged as much as I could. And in the crowd of people that were shaking hands with me, there were white people, there were black people, there were Hispanic people, all kind of people. And so one group of black people that were in the crowd, and I was just shaking hands and thanking them for being there, and they were excited. We had had a great show, we'd had a great time. And one lady went by, and she was a black lady, and she looked at me and she grabbed my hand, and you know, I was trying to just shake hands real quick so I could shake hands with others. She held on to my hand and she looked me in the eye and she said, Mr. Cain, thank you for opening my eyes. I have been deceived long enough. Thank you for opening my eyes. Yeah. And that's what's happening with a lot of people. Yeah. The political elites think we are blind, dumb, and stupid. So stay united. Stay informed. Don't be a stupid voter. Be an informed one. And number 3, stay inspired. They want you to think that you all aren't going to show up at the polls. They want you to believe that the liberals have this country by the throat and that they're not going to let it go. Don't get tired. Don't get discouraged, because as Lewis the Marine sang earlier in this program, in that second verse, in God is our trust. And God is on our side, not on the side of those that wish to destroy this country and remake it in somebody else's image. So stay. You know, when this country was first founded, they didn't have a unanimous majority that wanted to fight for our liberty. No, it only took a few compassionate believers in those principles that led that revolution that allowed us to become a free nation. It's that same passionate set of believers, you and I, except it's more of us this time. It's that same passionate belief in those great founding principles that are going to allow us to take back our country. We're not going to do it all at once. We're going to have to do it step by step. First step, take back the House. If we get the Senate on Tuesday, that would be a bonus. But if we don't get it on Tuesday, we get it in 2012. And then also in 2012, we take back the White House. And so when you think about what you can do, what you should do to help make a difference, Dr. Mays reminded us that life is just a minute. Only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon you. Can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You must suffer if you lose it. Give an account if you abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but your eternity is in it. We've got a message for the political elites and for the politicians and for Washington, D.C. In our minute, the United States of America is not going to become the United States of Europe.